everybody, it's Tamika. I had several requests on how I made my postcard, the Sweet Treat themed postcard I created for the sample for my swap that I'm hosting. And some of the new silhouette users had asked how to cut that out and size it and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not a silhouette expert. I just know the things that I know how to do. But I'm more than happy to share with you how I created this from start to finish. So again, thank you guys for asking me to do this for you. Hopefully the tutorial on the silhouette doesn't make it too dizzy. For some reason, the program that I downloaded flashes when I record, so hopefully you can see past that. And then if you stay tuned towards the end of the video, I actually cut out all the pieces and show you how to create this card. So if you have any questions, let me know below. Like the video if you like it. I shall talk to you soon. Start out with a clean 12 by 12 mat. I'm going to head over to my library and get my file that I want to use. I'm going to use You're So Sweet. Double click on that. That'll bring it to the mat in a grouped form that fits on this 12 by 12. So I'm not going to use all this. All I'm using is this the ice cream sundae for the project that I'm sharing today. So what I'm going to do is highlight everything and ungroup them, which is this lower left hand box down here. It ungroups. I don't know why this glitches when I record, but hopefully it's not too bad where you guys can't understand. So now that that's all ungrouped, I'm going to highlight this top portion because I am not going to use it, and delete it. And now I'm going to take all my pieces off to the side so that I can clear my screen, clean it up a bit. And this is bottom half. And then I'm going to highlight all this and do this all at one time. Move my cupcake, my ice cream toppers over there. So now I'm going to highlight all of this and delete it. So the next thing I want to do is figure out what my base is going to be. I'm going to go over to the left hand side and click draw a rectangle, and just draw a rectangle on here. And then I'm going to click it to highlight it and go over to scale, unlock my aspect ratio, and in these boxes I'm going to make it the size that I want it to be, which is 4 by 6. And I hit enter, or you can hit apply. And that makes this rectangle 4 by 6, which is the size that I want my postcard to be. Now I'm going to drag in my pieces of the sentiment and layer them so that I can adjust them to match the same size as, or fit into the postcard nicely. So I'm just putting my pieces on here, how I would layer them if they were cut out as close as I can. And I'm going to highlight just those pieces, go down to the lower left hand corner again and press group. So you can just keep that all one piece for now. You ungroup later. And then I'm going to select the image, click the corner side button here to resize it quicker. Otherwise you can always click the image, go to scale, and adjust accordingly with the arrows and hit apply. And it does that, takes forever, but I like to do it this way. So let's try to see that. And then I'm just going to downsize it a little bit so it can fit. Oh, darn it. I dragged it. Okay. You got to remember when you're done dragging it to click off, because it'll think you're still wanting to move it. Okay, so just a little bit more here. Okay, we're going to leave that there. Then I'm going to grab my sundae, my base. Now in the video, I did not use this part. All I did was I cut off these cherry toppers. I'll show you how to do that really quick. You can also print it out, cut it out anyway, and then cut it with your scissors if you'd like. But if you want to edit a piece on your file, you take your mouse and you go over to the knife on this left hand side, and then hold on, I'm going to go back to my arrow. I'm going to make this a bit bigger so you can see it. So I'm going to go get my knife, and then I'm just going to hold my mouse over where you want it cut at. Not too low, because you can always cut off the extra when you get there. And then let it go. Go back to my arrow, and then I can move that away and delete it. So I'm just going to downsize this back to where we were. So, because I use resin pieces for that part. Okay, so I'm going to put my sundae together so that I can size it accordingly. That's my left scoop. And then I'm going to put my base of my middle scoop here. And to me, it just lines up funny. Like the file itself lines up funny, but it was fine for the purposes intended. And then I'm going to get this base done and this part done. And because of the way my personality is set up, I have to delete that. Sorry. So now I'm going to highlight this and group it lower left hand corner so it's all one piece. And now I can adjust this. So I'm going to take that same right corner, just make it larger how I want it. Okay, maybe bring this down a bit. It's a nice big bowl. Looks a little disproportionate. Hold on. Okay, so that's how I'm going to keep my things. And that is the size I want it to be. So I'm going to move my rectangle out the way. I really don't need that too much anymore. And now I'm going to move the ice cream out the way and work on the You're So Sweet. So I'm going to take my You're So Sweet, click on the image and ungroup it. And then take it apart. So what you want to do is decide your color scheme of how you want everything and get your papers together. Now you can, I just cut out little pieces of the sides. Like my pieces that I usually cut out are, for this one, it would be 4x4. Just a nice little piece just to cover it, but you just put in a piece of paper, whatever color you want this to be. So this particular color I made white, and then I cut this one out in gray, and then I cut this one out in pink. And you can just, you know, cut out the pieces that how you want, whatever colors you want them to be. Brown and blue is what I did for mine. So once those are set and cut, and hopefully you guys know how to cut. I will do that because people said they were super new. So I'm going to do it anyway. You put these on your mat, and then you go over to the right hand side right here. You press cut settings. Make sure your paper, whatever paper you're using, always use this cover cardstock, which is heavy cardstock that I use, that I get from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Make sure your blade is at 7. And I don't double cut, so I unclick the double cut button, and because I'm a bit impatient, I will turn this up a little bit. Now if your blade is dull and it's cutting crazy, I would either 1, change the blade, or 2, turn the speed down to 1 so it can take its time. And then I would press send to silhouette. So after you get all your pieces cut, so that means that you will put in a white piece, and then maybe put put in a, measure it out, and put your other color piece here, you know, so that you can figure out where your papers are, and you can cut it all out at one time. All right. So once that's done, I'm going to move these out the way. Okay, once you cut out those pieces, you want to work on your sundae. And this project is super easy. The hardest part is, not even hardest, but the most time consuming part is cutting all the pieces out separately. That's it, because they're all different color papers. So you highlight this, press the ungroup button, which I've done already while I was talking, and then move all your pieces out the way. Make sure you keep them together. So that's your left scoop. So whatever color you're making your left ice cream, that's what you put there. And then whatever color you're making your middle ice cream. I made the base of mine white. Oh my gosh, that's irritating. And then I added my color to these pieces, because these are, with these lines, these are the pieces that go on top. So this little line will show a little bit of white ice cream in there. So that's my white piece, and then that's my color piece. So that's my color, my color, my color piece, and these are all white pieces. So even if you want to just cut out put a strip up here of 4 by 12 or however long your mat is of white, and then move down to the middle and put a piece there that's yellow, and then a piece here that's brown, and then another piece pink right there. You just measure out on your mat where you want that to be. And the good easy way to do that, if you don't want to eyeball it, go over to the right hand side, click this grid here and press show grid, and then this will show where you need to put your paper. So this is cut at, this is your 6 by 6. You can and then you say, okay, my paper is 2 inches, so from here to here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. So at the 6-inch mark, you're going to put your brown paper. And then over here, just kind of figure it out that way. This gives me a headache, so I'm going to take that off. I do not like showing my grid. I just use 4 corners. If I have to put in a whole bunch of paper, I just do 4 6 by 6s. And I put my white here, a pink here, a blue here, and a brown here. Cut it out, and then I'm done. And I just throw the scraps away. Excuse me. So then the next thing you want to do is your sundae, the base. So I cut this part out in white, and then I cut this part out in blue separately. Okay, so when you're all done, you'll have this base, which is white for the project that I did, and this piece that's layered on top that's blue. And then you'll put all of your ice cream cone, ice cream shapes on here, and you'll get your You're So Sweet together and put it on your card, and then you're all done with your card. So you would add all these things all together and put them where you need it to be. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys. If you still have questions, or if I'm explaining too fast or not good enough, let me know. Leave a comment down below. So for all of you who have asked for that tutorial, it is super easy and very doable. Okay, the items that you need to put the postcard together are wet glue. I'm using Elmer's Craft Bond. If you have a thin adhesive tip, that will work best. This is what I have. And then you will need some type of element to pop up your items. I'm using pop dots. You'll need lace and some string of pearls, and your pattern paper for the base, or whatever you're using. If you're using chipboard, I'm using this, it's like really thick pattern textured cardstock. And then the front and back of your paper, and of course your postcard image. So I'm going to go ahead, and of course you'll need your die cut pieces. So I've cut them out, and of course we have our base in the white, and then I have the second layer in the gray, and of course all my other elements. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this together really quick for you. Start with your base, cut at 4 by 6, and then I am going to grab my trimmer and trim my front of my paper down. I always do just 1/8 of an inch smaller than the base. So the base is 4 by 6. I'm just going to cut it down to 1/8 of an inch smaller. And I'm using this paper pad I got from Bling For Me, Bling For You on Zibbit. And it's by Authentique, and it's called Sweetness. So that goes right on top of here. And I'm going to cut the back piece the same size, 1/8 of an inch smaller than 4 by 6. And then while I'm here, I'm going to cut my postcard down. I'm using this Teresa Collins paper that I found in my stash when I was cleaning. And it's travel ledger, travel postcards. So I had the postcards on the back, and I thought that was perfect, seeing as though I don't have a postcard stamp anymore. I loaned it out, and yeah, that's how that goes. So this goes on the back here after we layer our pattern paper. Oh, and you'll need some dry adhesive, or you can use wet adhesive to lay the paper down too, but for me that takes a long time. So I'm just going to quickly grab some, oops, I can't find any dry adhesive besides double-sided tape, but I did find my Tombow multi-glue, smaller one, so that may come in handy. So I'm just going to use this double-sided tape because, like I said, I can't find anything else right this second. So I'm going to put this on the back here. Okay. It would go a lot faster if you had like ATG tape, but I don't know where my gun is right now. So I'm going to put this here. I'm just eyeballing it because I know it's just a tiny bit shorter than the regular paper, and then this is going to go on top of that. Now what I did to kind of make up for the space gap is add some stickles just to bring the eye toward the postcard, because I had to cut down that black border that I didn't like on there. So just take these pieces off and layer them right on top. And so I added just glitter all around there. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to move in just a little bit so that you guys can see it a little bit better. The camera is so far up there. So this is the parlor paper. I'm going to put this right on the top here. But before I do that, I'm going to add my trim, my lace around the edges. And I'm just going to add it at the top and the bottom. I'm going to use my hot glue for this. And just put a little layer, let's see here, a little layer across the top, just lightly. And then I'll layer this lace so it sticks out just a bit. And I'll cut off the extra. Oh, these scissors are horrible. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing to the bottom. A little bit of glue. And then I'm going to layer my lace down. Okay. And then I'm going to cut off the extra. Okay, that didn't really work any better. Okay, so I'm just going to tie down these edges just a little bit because I don't want them to be, this is a long piece of lace. I had a short piece of lace in the other one, but just don't want them to be rolling up trying to lay my paper down. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is add the paper. Layer that right on top of there. And get my tape here. And just layer on all the corners or all the edges. Okay. Take off the pieces. And then I'm going to layer it right center. Alright, So that's on there. And so I'm going to take my pearls and go around the edges of the postcard with them. I just do a little bit at a time because this is a low temp heat gun. So all I do is just drag a light strip of glue on there. Sometimes I can turn a corner without cutting it, but sometimes I can't. So, let's do the bottom row. Add the pearls. And then third. Just making sure they're butted up against each other. I'm going to scoot this over a bit. Okay. And then I'll cut off the extra piece here. And almost done. Last one. Right across the top. Something on this bead. Can't take it up now, but I can try to get it off here later. Let's see. Alright. Okay, so, get my pieces away. I like to save this. I may want to use it as a tag, especially if I'm doing a swap or something. I'll save some of the pattern paper so it can coordinate, and I can use it for like a punch or something. I'm going to scoot in some more. Okay, so this is what we have so far. That's the back, and that's the front. So at this point, I'm just going to layer my pieces. So I'm going to take my base piece here, okay, and I cut that out in white, and then I cut this one out in the pattern paper. So I'm going to layer it. I'm going to use this tiny one because it's has a small tip frame, or small tip, and this is Tombow Mono liquid glue, aqua. And I'm just going to add glue, rubbing it on there, not so much so that it oozes out, just using this pin tip to really work the glue in here. Seems to have gotten reclogged. Okay. That's being a bugger there. Go back to my Elmer's craft glue. Okay, I'm going to put this at the bottom. Layer that on here carefully. Just line it up and tap it so it doesn't ooze out and get sticky everywhere. Just tap it on there, let it dry. And then, so I'm going to work on my background pieces. So the white is my base, and then the gray goes on top. Add my adhesive on here. I mainly get those edges. Okay. And you can eyeball it. Nice little border around there. Tap that down. Okay. Now I'm going to grab my little sentiment pieces. This is where I'm going to need that tiny glue. So I'm going to dig in here one more time. sure we got an agreement. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to add glue to the back of my sentiment. Woo! Took my top off. Okay. I'm going to leave that alone because apparently it's having a difficult day. This one works fine as far as gluing. The tip is just large, so it can get a bit messy if you're not careful. But that's fine. Okay. So I'm going to place my "your," kind of center it on top of that second piece. And just tap that down. Okay. And then I'm going to put my "sweet" on next. I cut this out in blue. A really pretty blue. Like a robin's egg. Okay. Flip that over. Put this on there. Like so. Okay. Tap that. And then my word "so." Get the glue and put a little bit on here. And if it oozes out too much like this one is doing, I'm just take my finger and rub it along the back to kind of spread that out so it doesn't ooze out on the project. Even though this dries clear, for some reason I still can see the residue. Alright, so we're left with this "You're So Sweet." Okay, I'm going to let that have time to think. And I'm going to work on the ice cream pieces here. So my base is white, like I said, and then I just have chocolate, what's supposed to be vanilla, and it's pale yellow, and then strawberry. So I'm just going to add glue on here and layer my pieces. I match them up from the bottom because evidently the owner wanted some type of shadow on here, so just match them up. Is that correct there? Let that sit. And then the next one I have is this yellow one. And I'm going to make sure I got the one the right way. Just add my adhesive. Right here. Okay, make sure that's all set. Put that up out of there. And then the last one, my strawberry. Okay, I'm going to add this on here. Okay, now put this right there. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to let those sit. I got them sitting under here. It's just to keep me from squishing it down super tight and stuff oozing out. Okay, so my base, I'm going to flip it over and add some dimensionals to it so it can stand up. Just a couple dots. You can use foam flat squares or what have you. These happen to be handy, and I have a lot of them. So I'm going to cut one little slice off the edge to fit down here. Okay, and so the bottom can be stable as well. I'll just use this for the middle piece. All right. Okay, now I'm going to take the backs off, and it's time, it's almost done. It's just time to start layering now. So, where are we? Here we go. Okay, now I can scoot back a little. That goes right there. I think it looks good. Lay all my pieces down. And then put a couple of dimensionals on here. Just so everything can be nice and even. Okay. Take them off, add them to my card. Now we can add our ice cream. I didn't add any dimensionals on here. I just added adhesive and adhered it right onto the sundae bowl. So strawberry goes there. And then the vanilla. Oh dear. Okay. Center that, start at the bottom. And then my chocolate piece is next. Okay, and then I'll get my cherry, also from that Zippet shop, and put some bling on it. My cherry piece is gonna go right there where those holes are meant for the cherry. Okay, let's move out because we're done. Now, wasn't that super easy? The only added touches I did was I added some flatback pearls. Let me just grab them. I added some flatback pearls on my ice cream dish, and I just cut them directly from my string of pearls from the edges of the postcard, and I have 3 on there. And then I added 2 on the side. So I like to cut off the little connecting strings that have them on there. So I'm just gonna add a little glue. Be careful not to burn your fingers. You can also use wet glue and then just let it sit to dry. So 1, 2, and 1 more, 3, and then I added darn it, 1 and 2. Clean up my blue strings. Let's adhere this little loosey down. Okay, clean up my glue strings. You know what I did forget to add, which is, it's fine, because this is still cute, is I had a piece of pink pattern paper going across the middle here. And the reason why I added that is because I messed up. Like I had some ink on my fingers and I inked a piece of paper, a dot, and I put a piece of paper there, which eventually was cute. But so now you can spray it with your favorite sprays if you'd like and make it look super cute. So this is how the front looks. And this is how the back looks with the postcard. Add your stickles around the edges and you're done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too long. And leave a comment. If you have any questions, let me know what you think. Like the video if you like it. Bye.